Hey guys, this is the general reading for Taurus for August 2019. General reading. I don't know if I said that. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. If you have significant Taurus in your chart, if you're just drawn to this video, if you're cross-watching like for another person or another sign. If this doesn't resonate with you or for more of a complete picture, you may want to check out my other videos that I've already made, and then also, will make in the future of pretty much all the same categories: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever resonates with you, significant placements in your chart, whatever you're drawn to. Energy is fluid, so this could have already happened. It could be happening now. It could happen in the future, or it may not resonate with you. It may not happen at all. I could read this as love. It could be career. I could read this for you. It could be someone else who's close to you. So just take what fits, leave the rest. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. Some, none, or all of this may apply. Thank you so much for those of you who have inquired about donations, especially the donations in my last one. It really means a lot to me. So for those of you to, give and receive the energy, reciprocal. I'm sorry if I'm having a hard time talking right now. This Mercury retrograde kind of has me a certain way. So if you're interested, the information is in the description box below, my PayPal information or email information. Also, if you're wondering about any services, whether it's reading, healings, energy work, anything like that, chakra clearing, just look in the description box below. Please read it all. Don't just get to my email and then email me. I am always, sorry, this looks weird. I'm always willing to help somebody, but it'll save me time. Read all of it, including the description. If you still have questions, email me or just email me, whatever. I'll help you out if you need help with it. But all the information for pretty much everything you need is in the description box below. And if it's not there, email me, which is also in the description box below. Also, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. I put out different types of videos, but I'm very appreciative of those who can help me in various ways for me and the channel and my mission and helping others is by like, sharing, comment, subscribing, hit the bell, comment, even if I can't always respond to them. I love reading your guys' comments and just what you guys think, what's going on with you. But all of this helps push the videos out for others who need it and to help grow my channel. But pretty much anything that comes from this, readings, services, donations. Also, I'm going to try to start putting links to any cards, like tarot cards or anything like that. So it makes it easier for you to find them if you're interested in them. And then it's also a way at no extra charge for you to help me out more to continue to keep all this going, because most of the money I get from all this I put towards healing myself and learning tools and learning certain things to heal myself, and then I give back by doing them with other people. Almost all of it I can do distant wise, even such as I have my master Reiki now, so I'll be starting to teach classes with that, and I can give distant sessions and healings. I'm going for my third direction of shamanic training in August, and if everything goes accordingly in 2020, I'll be doing plant spirit medicine. So it all helps out with that, so thank you very much. So I'm just going to get on the reading now. Thank you for those who have hung in there. I'm sorry I'm saying but it is what it is. Also, another thing is I'm still doing my own work and getting through certain things and my own life and stuff that's changing and my healing and everything. So just know, I don't want to put too much importance on this. So anyone who's cross-watching or even for this, like, I put out the readings when I can, and the ones that I'm guided to, and I try to make up for the other ones I couldn't get in, but sometimes I'm not able to do that. So I don't dislike any sign. I get out what I can, and hopefully within this month or next month, I will actually be able to get them all out and start rolling. But my healing and my health and my stuff comes first and foremost, and I'm working through my stuff and my blocks. I'm on this too, and I share as I can. So please keep this in mind. Don't ever take anything I say or do personally. I'm sorry if you do. I hope you work through that. Okay? Okay, so Taurus. So I feel like some of this is really coming forward from last month as well. But it's almost like there's really a crossroads, or it's almost really like how I was talking about in the last video, where there's a door, and I think you're really coming to realize that there's two doors. Like, instead of you thought from farther away coming up to it there was one, but there's really two. And it's really having to decide between, I think we'll see how it goes in this reading, but a path that you either are going to have to start the lesson over, or it'll just flip the karmic wheel. It's basically not either in your highest good or with what your path, or I don't want to say mission because that may not align with everybody, but you get what I'm saying. Like what everybody's kind of is, or higher purpose, or it either is or it isn't. And there's really a lot here of having to blend, in a way, like blend and integrate the old and the new to become something else. But also, I had a lot of resistance to doing this video, and I don't know why. Usually I'm always excited to do the Taurus ones, but there was a lot of resistance. I mean, part of it is my own stuff, and also, everything that's going on astrologically. This feels weird. Yeah, it feels better. But I feel like this is also a Taurus energy resistance. And if I had to guess, at least for the ones really kind of on the more spiritual part, I'm guessing that resistance is almost in like the sacrifice. And knowing that on one hand, you're really excited for where you're going and what you're doing, but you know that it also comes at a sacrifice. And I guess you really knew that all along, maybe. Maybe you still had some hope, but it's like almost now coming to the time, instead of you just like, yeah, I know that, or I have a small hope for it. It's like you're deciding it. And I know I'm not trying to throw myself into it here. I just think it kind of applies. Where, I had a situation where I could kind of go back to an aspect of my past, and something that, even felt somewhat like home to me. And it was almost even made as a decision last minute that that's what I was going to do. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is the quick move. This is like, okay, I'm going to be willing to go through all the stuff I have to. And I kind of sat on it for a minute and just kind of meditated and, did some work to see some things. And I could just tell that it's not what was in my best interest. That, I felt that it felt like home to me, and I ended up realizing that it was like that comfort that I know, maybe even that devil that type thing, and that I didn't like the unknown part of it, or that, that uncomfortable kind of still void. We're still going through these waters. And I guess in a way, part of me maybe like I didn't realize it at the time, but I think now looking back, it was a way for me to escape it or distract myself from it and think I could still do the stuff that I'm doing now. But I realize now that I don't think I would. I think I would go back into my old self. Like, I was hoping that I could go there and kind of integrate and evolve my past self and my current self and go forward. But I don't know if I was really, I hope this makes sense. I don't really know if I was thinking about going about it the right way and basically trying to pull myself out of the uncomfortability of my evolution. And I realize now, had I went forward with that decision, at least in this point in time, moment in time, this current whatever, it either would have been blocked and not allowed to me, or it would have probably pulled me back on my spiritual ascension and my focus and all of that type of stuff. Because it's not meant to be. It would have pulled me too much into my old self, my shadow self, and I would have figured out and clawed out. I don't want to get too much into it, but my point in saying that is, you know, is even somewhat presented in a way where it's like, oh wow, this could be really good for me. And really think things through if stuff like this is coming up or your mind is really, you know, showing you or telling you one thing. Make sure you really meditate on it. Make sure you really sit with it. Work with your guides. You know, if you have certain other ways of checking in with yourself on things, do that. Because there's really this crossroads, I feel, that's here. That's literally that decision of, do you or don't you? You know what I mean? Like, and don't let your mind trick you on it and make you think that you're evolved enough to do it or whatever. And maybe you are. So always listen to your own guidance over me. I'm just giving you little things to think about. But it's almost like, I feel like a lot of Tauruses, I feel like a lot of signs, but a lot of Tauruses right now have really coming into their awakening to really help out, do their things, lift the vibration, like do whatever it is they meant and signed up to come here to do. And they're wanting to go forward with that, but be able to bring aspects with it. They're like, yeah, I want to do that. I'm cool with that. That seems interesting. That seems fun. That I'm aligned with that. But they're trying to bring certain things in too. And I know this is something that's been said for a while, but I feel like it's coming really to the forefront for you to really look at and decide. And if you're not careful, also could trick you in a way. And this is really about, in my opinion, and this isn't going to be the same for everybody, so it either doesn't apply or apply it as necessary, but to remember, you know, like I said, with the whole your higher self dropping in and now you're in alignment with that when that happens, or to keep that happening, I would believe you couldn't really be run by ego or egoic desires, physical, lower vibrational desires. And there may be something, any aspect, whether it's a part of you, outside of you, a way of thinking, a way of living, a way of being, whatever it is, that you may have to or choose to let go of as a sacrifice for your either forward movement or your plan or your mission, for your higher service. They can't both be. So in the center of your reading, you have the Wheel of Fortune. And this particular one is very much about for spiritual reasons of ascending, being tested. if you will. Let me make sure I'm saying that right, because there was a certain part of this I wanted to grab. You're faced with the dilemma of choosing the right course that could take you higher on the wheel or let you fall. Obstacles may threaten your plans, will only last a short time. So, a cycle in your life ends, an initiation period arrives, bringing good fortune. So, there's that change. And if you look to, like, this is a Sphinx. And there is a cobra around your head, so the regeneration, the new life, and there's the connection to the above. It's also not letting karma get in your way, like karmic lessons, karmic stuff. 3D type stuff. Also not wrapping up more karma. So just really leaving something alone. But what's crossing that is you have the Three of Swords. And this particular Three of Swords, I don't know, this, I think that's a lady. I don't know if I can get it to focus. There it goes. She has like really sharp teeth. I don't know, whatever. And she basically is like waiting, and you may be able to look and see it, like you could see the figures and the statues and stuff like that behind her. Like it's almost like when she pulls it in, like it gets lost and is never seen again. But so I almost get this vibe because of this, like, not doorway, but sort of this crossroads and these two doors. I don't want to say that you can't ever like make a different mistake or like a different decision, but it's just almost this vibe, like whichever one you do is going to be very consuming, you know, and it's going to create certain karma and certain energy, and just which one do you want to be led with? Which way do you want to go? And what's influencing you or crossing you is, you know, the Three of Swords. So it's either something that could be very heartbreaking or was. I don't know why I keep getting ego with this. Let me see. What do I want to use? What are you doing, little girl? I just feel like you really have to be careful, like, what choice you pick. And I feel like you need to really be mindful and meditate and really make sure you think about and take your time on coming to decisions to make sure that you don't make the wrong choice, because I feel like right now it could be very easy to do, and your mind actually present it in a way where you feel like you're actually doing what's still on the path for you. Let me roll Three of Swords. So there may be a part of you that is almost tempted to go back to what you always wanted, what you always thought you wanted, and what felt safe. Because you may not feel grounded and safe or a knowing. You may be getting tired of that not knowing and that void and that darkness. Or maybe you may think I'm evolved enough to be able to handle it, or whatever, even any sense, even if it's not directly, it's indirectly. And it will literally pull you back into a pattern that is either going to be really hard to get out of or possibly no coming back from. Not sure why. I'm not trying to be dramatic of that. Maybe you can. I don't know. But basically it's almost like, and you get here too, the Wheel of Fortune. So I don't want to say a test, because I don't really fully get a test vibe. I get like the universe is, okay, you know, not like either last call or what are they really about? What are they really doing? Because it's time to really bring it, and it's time to go to the next level. So that's what a big thing of it is they need to know what way you're gonna pick, or what way you're really dedicated to. And I guess, are you willing to really make the sacrifice? Not just say it, but really do it. Because there's almost like a next level that a lot of people, but especially, I'm doing a Taurus reading, so Tauruses will be going to, or privileged to, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and almost like a responsibility even. And it's like, we want to know, you know, you're going to test somebody before you know, like you'll give somebody a plant before you give them a dog, you know what I mean, type thing. Like, they need to make sure that do you either need a little bit of an added push, and that might be for a few. I think mostly, I don't even know if I'm right on saying this, like, the vibe that keeps coming up is whether or not, and you know, whether or not, like, so the Wheel of Fortune is also about divine timing. So whether or not it's either your time to either push you to the next level, or for some of you, whether or not they just realize they think you've abandoned your mission, kind of thing. And I'm not going to say give up on you. I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, kind of like it's time to, you know, poop or get off the pot, or just what are they really about, type thing. I mean, I don't know any other way to put that. So you're kind of coming up. I don't know if it's presenting the crossroads or the doors in order to test you on this, or if it's just happening and they're watching and they're like, let's see what Taurus is going to do. And there may be a type of either temptation or a way of being that's just really going to, why is it so hard to like think, but really have to take the time to decide what you want, because I feel like, you know, your subconscious, your conscious, and your higher level of consciousness isn't completely on the same page or in alignment. Maybe this will help you get on alignment, especially if you choose, I don't want to say the right path, but it's definitely one towards a spiritual path. And I think it's going to be different for everybody, since this is a general reading, on how that comes up, those opportunities to pick between. It's going to be different. Some people will be physically, some people will be mental, some people will be your energetic. But for you to really see your own illusion, if there is any, and remember what you're doing, and to be willing to sacrifice and stay in the uncomfortability and trust in that, to continue learning, growing, and ascending and connecting, and not choosing or lying to yourself in a way to opt out. Even if you think you're like, just be careful you're not tricking yourself saying, oh no, I'm still on my plan by doing this. Because it, like, I'm not kidding, it might literally be presented to you in a way that it fully looks like it can still be on your plan. And this is why you have to like really be going within and doing your stuff, cleansing your energies, doing meditation, all that, to really know. And give yourself time to think about this. Do not rush any of this decision, because it may be something that's waiting to like grab you and either distract you or stop your path or stop whatever. And by the time you realize it, it just may be really hard to get out of, or maybe even unable to. I'm going to move on from this. I'm pretty sure you get what I'm saying. In the foundation of your reading, you have the Ten of Cups. So this whole reading is trying to lead you to the Ten of Cups. Like actually where you're trying to get anyways. In your past, recent past or past, you have the Five of Swords. Trying to figure out how to get this thing to focus. Anyways. So it's almost like this thing's trying to hide too, and maybe even be something it's not, but being mentally conflicted. Probably for some of you not knowing whether something is for your benefit or to cut it away. Like being very, and this might almost be the doors too, you know, just very confused on, no, wait a minute, is this part of this process? Is this part of the benefit? I don't know if this is focused. Whatever. Or whether or not it needs to go. That's probably what you're mentally conflicted about. It's funny because it's like every reading, or almost everyone, seems to flip-flop, where you're like empowered, and then, I mean, it's weird because astrologically it lines up too, but and then something it's like you get empowered and go to move forward, but you can't, because something is still pulling you back. You can't go there holding on to something. It seems to just go like this, and it's kind of like maybe this whole center thing is being that push that's like, you know, this is the wheel and this is the Three of Swords, that's really coincidentally coming up with planetary alignment, or literally being pushed into a decision really just has to be made. This cycle has to end. You either move forward or you don't, type thing. Almost like time to get going, time to wrap up, maybe even time is running out. I don't know if there's like windows going on right now, maybe even where the universe will help you, and if you hop on, then good, you could ride it along. But if not, I don't know if you'd have to redo the cycle. I don't know. But it's the parts of you, like in the crowning of your reading, you have the Chariot. And these are very much, I think they're centaurs. And one of them is, you know, one of chaos. And the other one is more of like peace, healing, you know, like opposites, basically, you know, like light, dark, good, bad, whatever. I think you know and you're feeling this, so you're really trying to align these two. Tell me about the Chariot. You're really trying to, yeah, align it, but like if you look, so here's this separated, the Four of Pentacles, and then clumped together you have the Ten of Cups, the Moon, and the Two of Pentacles. So really not knowing what this happiness or fulfillment really looks like to you, and just constantly like, maybe I do want this, no, I want this, maybe this can go here, no, it can't. Okay, I got to do this, but I don't know. What about this? Maybe I can go this way and bring that. No, I can't. Like, it's just the mind really messing with you, and all of it just really messing with you. And I think you're trying to figure it out because I don't know. I don't know if this is this detrimentally loyal thing. Off. Or if it's just a trusting thing, like either you feel like you don't deserve what Spirit is bringing or being like leading you to, or it just hasn't so much been proven yet, and part of you is still remembering something else that's probably not even real. Like the moon in the middle, like the illusion. Or it could be addiction even, but it could be like an illusion or addiction or something of the sort. Your emotions. There's a lot of emotional stuff right now I feel going on with Tauruses. Is keeping you here holding all this and telling you like, oh, it gives me balance, oh, it brings me happiness, oh, it this, oh, it's that. It's like those old beliefs, the story, that's what it is, the story. It's having a hard time letting go of the story. Not only the story you told yourself of what you wanted and what success would look like, but of who you are, what you want, what you deserve. Like, are you good enough? Are you ready? Anything like that. It's you're having a hard time letting go of the story and just jumping fully in, honestly, and just saying, like, F it, basically. You need a little bit of, and this was why I think, like, you know, Tauruses are really being guided to embrace their shadow, because, you know, they really need to embrace the fighter essence of the chaos centaur. Centaur? I don't know how you say it. but the peace and healing, like they need to be blended and mixed. Because you're trapped in a way of separateness. I'm just going to go on and see what else comes. I'm not getting more from that. Just in alignment. In your likely future, you have the Two of Cups. This particular one isn't about like all love and whatever. They're mermaids. It's more about power and magical abilities, psychic abilities. And they're both going after, they're both reaching for the one cup. Like there's not two cups. There's one cup. And they're both reaching for it. It's like I just, get like this. I think this reading mostly as a guidance and also a not warning, but kind of. So that you don't think you're walking into a Two of Cups and really it's just the both of you going after one cup. Like that was the purpose of it, which is kind of a narcissistic thing in a way, or at least the tendencies or whatever. It's not like, hey, here's my cup, here's yours, like, yay, whatever. Like it's a competition thing. There's an objective, right? There's a need. It's not really what you would think of with the Two of Cups energy. And I'm not trying to crap on a Two of Cups, and like take away from Taurus's Two of Cups. I'm legit like, this is what I'm getting. So, I mean, if you look at everything even around it, what's crossing like this, the Three of Swords, like this thing wants to come in and take you and take your soul and suck you under the water and have you become one of these guys. This is now your new home. Like all these little things, like you can see the figurines in the background. Here's one, here's one, here's one. I mean, it's pretty powerful. You got a dragon in there. People, animals. I don't know if you can hear my cat. Why do they do that? Does anybody know? Can you hear that? If you can, let me know in the comments below. Where it's like, but I'm going to pull more cards on this, but I think this is something that you're wanting to avoid. It's a warning thing. Tell me about this Two of Cups. So you have the World and you have the Strength card. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is what's needing to be ended. And it's almost like this is your test or something. And I don't want to keep going on tests like you're being tested, but it's, do you have this strength and this discipline? Because it's what you're going to need for the next level, is what I feel. Or is your ego going to show out? Are these power struggles going to show out? Are you going to be able to end this cycle, or are you not? If you are, then you get to level up. But a sacrifice must be made. Anything else you could tell me about this Two of Cups? Some of you might have been something from your past, or something that you really wanted that you either lost or it never came through. But there's definitely, like, I see power struggles here. it just doesn't look good. It's a burden. But it's probably going to present as the Two of Cups. But it's not really going to be a great, like, love offer, if it's even a full one at that. It's like somebody wants something from you or wants what you have, or vice versa. But not a true... It's either not true, like a true like love thing, or it's showing you whether or not you're really committed to your path or whatever, or, you know, how far along in your evolution are you? What have you learned? What are you really willing to do? Where is your conviction? That type of thing. How you see yourself, you have the Ten of Wands. And this is actually, I think it's a Minotaur, I don't know. But the head is a bull. This is the body. And they're kind of like trapped and having to weave through the Ten of Wands. But it's almost like here's your door, one of them at the very least. And this is to like the spiritual, like the next dimension, the next whatever reality, whatever it is that you'll be going into. And, you know, you're exhausted and you're tired, you know, you're trying to have perseverance, you're doing it. And this is almost where I get like this, where you need to keep your mind and stuff in check, because of the fact that you are so exhausted with this Ten of Wands. And anybody who knows anything about Tauruses or their journey lately, they're gonna know that their journey, it's been exhausting, right? So it's almost like right now why you have to be careful is because any glimmer of light can possibly sidetrack you or fool you, right? There's many examples I can put to that. I'm sure you can use your imagination, but it's like you're walking in a desert and you're dehydrated and you're going this way. You know you have to go this way, but then you see, what is it? A mirage? I don't know. You see water in the distance or something. Or like you're on your spiritual path and, you know, something comes in which is undeniably, amazingly attractive of an offer, but it doesn't coincide with your journey. I mean, maybe or maybe not, even if you weren't on a spiritual journey in the physical world, like it would be a great offer. May not even be a bad thing, but it still may not coincide with where you know you're supposed to be going, where you're being guided, you're supposed to be going. It either can't coincide, or you're going to become distracted because you're not fully where you need to be yet to be able to be healed enough, focused enough, and have those things going on. Like your focus needs to stay going here. And I just really get like this distraction vibe. Like part of you, like how there's these two, I'm just going to say centaurs, whatever, half man, half horse. But one wants to go have fun and be chaotic and be that crazy whatever self. And the other one wants to go and heal and do the spiritual thing. And it's literally like the spiritual war within, where do your lower drives and goals override your higher ones? I guess kind of in that thing, like, do you really allow your higher self to drop in and blend with you and run with you Or do you resist that? But what's in your environment? You have the Seven of Wands reversed. So either you feel not strong enough or like a failure, or somebody else does. What about the Seven of Wands reversed? They might view you, they might view you as waiting, or yeah, like somebody feels like a failure. Something didn't go the way somebody wanted it to, whether that was you or somebody else or something. It doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a job, it could be a situation, it could just be an outcome, but somebody, something, some outcome, some whatever, they're either not fighting, weren't victorious, it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. It's kind of like, what did I read before? Where is it? There's like a certain sentence I want to get that I thought was really good. Where is it? It says the Valkyrie, which is what this is, on this card brings success to all those who have struggled for it. So, I don't think somebody got their victory. And I think most of the reason is, if it goes off the card, is because they really didn't work for it. It might have just been a level of competition and just stupid stuff, childish things, and they really weren't trying. Like even the Seven of Wands, like, yeah, it's very victorious and standing your ground, but you put in that work to do that. And this person, situation, or thing didn't. Or this could be you and just what's going on in your environment. It doesn't seem like what you wanted it to be, or victorious or whatever. And they might either see you as waiting, or they might see you as you did put in the work. Because the Three of Wands is how they see you. And the Three of Wands is like, you've done the work, you've made the decision, and now you're waiting for your things to come. So they might either think they're not doing anything, and they think you're just waiting on them. So now there's just this power struggle, waiting game between the two. Or that you're re-strategizing and making smart moves to bring things in. So I'm not sure whether they see you as waiting on them, or that you're, let's see if I can pull cards on it. Or if you're, I mean, probably not on them, considering that could just be it didn't go the way they wanted, but, or that you're just re-strategizing altogether. Tell me about the Three of Wands, please. I think some of them might think you're waiting on them. It may not have gone exactly the way they wanted, but they might still think you're waiting on them. It, they, whatever. I'm getting the vibe this. I need to figure out how to make this focus more, but it's like you're sad and you're regretful and you're like addicted and attached to them or something. I think they do see your power, which they may not tell you. This Three of Wands particularly has a lot of power, a lot of being able to see, and powerful manifesting magical type of stuff. So they may not either see you knowing you're in your power, or they're just like, whatever, they just don't care. But either way, it's somebody who was not victorious and or not fighting. It could be they're not in the defensive anymore. I don't know. It's going to change for everybody, but I feel like either way, if somebody wanted to talk to other, like if this is two people, there's definitely an ego battle going on here where all it takes is one to reach out to the other type of thing. I'm not saying you're supposed to, but that's the vibe I kind of get from it. Maybe they even see like, it didn't go the way I wanted, but I'm not fighting anymore for this. And they're looking at you like the power's in your court. But they know you're waiting too. Like, who's going to give in first? Maybe even wondering at this point if you are re-strategizing or rethinking things. But they're pretty confident that you're still stuck on them. They, it, dependency, whatever. What your hope is the Queen of Wands. So, you know, you want to take action. You want to know what way you're going. You know, you want to be able to transform and just go, fly. I don't know why I heard fly. Is it fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee? Sting, I don't know. You get what I'm saying either way. Something like that where you want to have like your beautiful going and, you know, beauty and charisma qualities and taking action if you need to. But maybe even part of you wants to be able to like now have a protective thing where you can sting if you need to. Maybe that's why that came up. I don't know. Like you basically can either like the light or the dark. Like you could turn on the beauty essence if you need to, and you could protect yourself if you need to. You could be nice when you need to, and you can show people your other side if you need to. Like you... Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay. She also has eyes on her wings, which is very much indicative of like, you know, the seeker and the seeker of knowledge and to be able to discern the truth. So you want to be able to discern the truth within yourself, within others, help others. Basically, like, you know, you want to be the Empress, which the energy on the bottom of the deck is the Empress. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles behind it, and I'm not going to show you, but you have the Ten of Pentacles behind that. So I really get with this an Empress vibe, where you're just complete, you're together, like you'd rather show front, you know, your help and your beauty and all that stuff, but you now have, you know, a protective and a seer side if you need to. You get what I'm saying. I'm sorry my communication skills aren't really up to par right now, but the best I can do in these energies right now. So it is what it is. So in your hopes and in your fears. So in your hopes, or I'm sorry, is that your hope? No, that was your hopes. Okay. Queen of Wands. For your fears, so you kind of have one card and then two separated off. You have Temperance reversed. And you have Knight of Cups and Judgment. Just so you guys know, if you are interested in this deck, which it's like an awesome deck. I can't get as close detailed on all of them, but it's called the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. by Lisa Hunt and DJ Conway. It's really beautiful. I'm going to put the link in the description below if you're interested in it. So like I said, it makes it easier for you to find it. Doesn't cost you any different. You go to the same Amazon page and everything. But it gives me a little something to support my channel, but it costs you nothing. So in case you're interested, it's there. But, so, I think you fear, kind of like temptation, overindulgence, being knocked off balance. Basically like this Knight of Cups coming in. And this Knight of Cups is, you know, it's really somebody who's like in love with love. Like it's just, when it's great, it's great. When it's not, it's goodbye type thing. But it's very inconsistent type of thing, which would be like, you know, similar to this, where this isn't really love. Like both people are competing for this one cup. And I think it's either you seeing that or you experiencing that. Let's pull one for each. Tell me about Temperance reversed. Just for caps and giggles. Tell me about Temperance reversed. So yeah, you have Six of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. So someone's overindulging, not an even give and take. Tell me about the Knight of Cups. It's more like this. So it's either, it came out, it doesn't matter. I think it's like this. So it could either be the truth comes out, it wasn't really love. Well, it means the same no matter what direction. Like your deception or their deception about this offer of love, this cup that both are going for, just really not a true loving vibration. Tell me about Judgment. They're just not on your level. You have Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups. They're still not on your level. So here's the Knight of Cups again. Maybe wanting a second chance. So maybe as a, I mean, still even as a practical offer, there's still a knight, but I mean, they may have ego involved, but it's more like I think they're coming back. Someone may come back, or you fear they're going to come back and say that they really want to give it a try this time. But it could either be about sex, or they're saying they want a new beginning, but they're just not emotionally on your level. Yeah. It's they want a renewal, but you know, you also have to A, make good judgment, and B, I think you're gonna realize that it's not gonna be what you think it is or what's promised to you, and it may just be like, you know, the Three of Wands, Six of Cups, which you have crossing here, Three of Wands. Maybe this Wheel of Fortune is also you thinking that something is going in a different direction. And, you know, your fear is that you realize it's not. It's the same as it's always been. And in reality, it stops you from your hopes of being like this Queen of Wands, because then you wouldn't have seen, you're not going to feel as confident, all that stuff. And your likely outcome, you have the Nine of Swords and you have the Ace of Cups. Hey, stop. So Nine of Swords, Ace of Cups. And these Nine of Swords, what are they called? Hey, stop. They're called harpies, snatchers. Stop. You're about to get in trouble. They're huge predatory birds with bodies like vultures and claws like eagles. They're hideous creatures. Their human faces are said to have an ethereal beauty. They are used by the gods to punish people who break spiritual taboos and laws. Which is exactly what I've been talking about. Hey! Their heavy wings make a terrible clanging noise as they fly down to harass people. Their filth and foul stench can cause famine and disease. Hold on a second. Okay. The harpies both attract and repel as they warn of hidden perils, represented by the hanging swords. Their human faces beguile humans to forget the danger. Their human faces beguile humans to forget the danger and move closer, to ignore the unpleasant lessons in life and the consequences. Hey, go. Go. She's trying to mess with my thing. She hasn't done it in a long time. If you have a problem, if you have broken secular or karmic laws, expect to pay the price. Look closely at your plans. Something is not to your benefit. And that's what I was trying to say is... Stop. Sorry. This Two of Cups, Ace of Cups, whatever this is, it doesn't have to be a person even, but something emotional. Maybe even something that you would hope for, waited on, or are trying to hold on to. Some of you have a high likelihood that you're going to allow it to get to you or mess with you or hold you back. And kind of go with more of your egoic desire than your spiritual path, your spiritual alignment. And it's going to mess with you. It's going to mess with you. And I don't know if it's just through anxiety or what the deal is with it, but I just really get that there's a warning here to and I think it's even going to be presented in a way where you think it's good for you, it's on your path. New staff and all of that. So where do I want to go from here? If you allow this uncomfortability, though, that it seems like this is going to be, so this is a good way to put it. I hope you guys are sticking with me on this because I'm not really flowing like normal, but if you allow to sacrifice and stay in this time of uncomfortability, and I would never tell you to keep yourself uncomfortable, but and you don't try to, kind of like what I was saying in the last reading, like rush out of the shadow or the darkness or the uncomfortability or the unknown of, and getting to know yourself and in the fears and trying to rush back to something you do know or that you can control or whatever, it will lead you to what you want, especially, you know, emotionally. See, and I don't know if this is on purpose. Like I don't know if something is going to be distracting you. Hopefully now that I've said that and I got the message out, she stops. But why is this so bright? I don't know. It's like weird things are happening. But it's weird. But it's just weird too, because the card that made me think of this, like Vision Quest, and here's the brightness that's coming towards her. It's like weird, but, and that's what made me think to say it. I pulled it for myself, but I thought to keep it because it seemed fitting for the Taurus reading as well. But it's really, really easy. And I would never, like, I'm trying to think of a way to say this that's not confusing, and I'm probably overcomplicating it because you guys probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to say is make sure when you're going through this that you're still taking time to listen to your intuition, feel it out. Basically, don't take the first thing or illusion that could seem like your light in the darkness or a reprieve from it, especially if it doesn't coincide with your path or it's something that you know you should leave behind, or it brings up parts of you that you should leave behind, or you're so like all over it that you're not going to be able to focus on what you're able to focus on. But it's like almost that idea, and I'm not trying to throw the devil in, like this is part of you, but I'm going to use it just to say what I'm trying to say. When the idea of the archetype of the devil tries to tempt you, they don't send in something that's not desirable. You know what I mean? It's one of the most tempting and desirable things that you could imagine, that you would either be crazy to say no to, or that it would be packaged in a way that either how could you say no on an earthly way, or that it almost even is an illusion or pulls a wall over your eyes. And that might be why, you know, the Queen of Wands, truth seeing, that you even thought it was within your path that you could still do it. And it's not, or it wouldn't be. It would be detrimental, basically. Where do I want to go with this? Let's go up here first, because you have a lot of things about love. One of these, play your hand. Right, baby. I'm not going to read those, but that's going to play into it. So you have Circus of Love. I'm not going to read all. I'm going to try to, because I'm not reading all of these that I have. But so love comes in all forms, and it can touch your soul in different ways. Do not turn away from what your heart wants and where it needs to go. It doesn't need to understand everything or be in control of the process of falling in love with life, with the person, with yourself, with your purpose. If you are to truly fall in love, then your mind will not feel in control at all. The heart has its own wisdom and special type of intelligence. It understands the difference between unhealthy obsession, which prevents you from resolving the underlying issue of pain, and healthy, passionate, fierce devotion to that which sets your soul on fire. If you have been struggling in matters of the heart, this indicates that a heart healing is happening and your experience of love is about to become more vibrant, exciting, and playful, and perhaps even somewhat unconventional or unusual. It also indicates that a love affair with a person, place, or thing is about to begin or deepen. It's time to let yourself be swept off your feet and to lose your head to love. There's another part of this I wanted to... Sometimes you'll feel very close to this love, swimming in it or like it is a fountain gurgling up from the inside. At other times you'll feel as though you cannot quite remember what it is to feel loving, to be loved. Then it is time to stop looking for love in all the wrong places and turn within to find it. So anyways, I think it's mostly about the love thing. I think the most important card afterwards is the Clown of Crossroads. And it comes to you when you are at a choice point, a time for you to make a decision and realize that your life does not have to continue on as it has been anymore. You are at a pattern-breaking, life-changing moment, or soon will be. Of course, you can try to continue with the status quo, keeping things the same as they are now for as long as you can. However, in doing so, you will be saying no to the pathway opening up for you, leading to a different life ahead. In nature, all things must grow. What is suitable for one phase of development might be unduly constraining or inadequately stimulating for the next phase of growth. It is time for a new phase of life to begin. You cannot continue on without making a clear choice, a commitment to what matters to you. That's what I was saying earlier. A decision to see something through or let it go once and for all. Be patient as you feel the truth of your choice, whilst remaining courageous enough not to procrastinate and become stuck in the indecision. It often means leaving something behind as a rite of passage. You cannot take your whole life with you into new territory. Certain people may be able to change and grow along with you, but other relationships, situations, or circumstances will have to just be sacrificed on the altar of new life. This can be difficult, and you must honor your loss, whilst at the same time remembering that it is for sacred purpose, which will ultimately bring you greater joy. For now, you are in mourning for a morning, like sadness mourning for a morning, like good morning. There is, like the light, I guess. There is the letting go and releasing and the readiness for a new beginning. You may feel excited and sad. If you are grieving, know that your tears are cleansing you, freeing you from the past, and watering the new seeds in your garden of life. If you're already at this point of excitement, but perhaps also fear, as you contemplate the risk of leaping into an unknown destiny, take heart, it is your time to leap, and when your timing is right, whomever and whatever is required to catch you at the other side of your leap shall be there. And then you have, as two other cards, which like I said, I'm not going to read, you have out of the darkness, or out of darkness, and you have play your hand. It's kind of a very fitting, it's kind of like what I was saying. You're at a crossroads here. I feel like there's a choice you're going to have to make. And you may have to either, investigate a certain part of yourself that you're unfamiliar with. But I think it's more going with it's almost like I said, so you're in the darkness, right? Darkness. And you don't know, you're navigating, you're trying to figure it out. Like you see the doors coming, but it's almost like you're coming up on the hallway and there is two doors, but there's either two side by side or there's a door before your door. And it looks, it looks like light. It looks great. I mean, you look at it and you're like, this has to be my door. Like, this would be awesome, and you really have a better door. Like, don't take the first temptation. Really meditate on it, listen to yourself, do all the things I said, because there is a better door for you, and there's something more brewing. It's waiting to come up, but it's further down. So not only do you need to take more time to stay in there within yourself, because you're figuring things out about yourself. This is part of the growth period. A lot of people are like, oh, it's uncomfortable. Well, it's because of the ones who are willing to stay in this that they get that huge growth. That's the period where you grow and you learn. Like, you really don't grow that well without that period. So see the benefit in this and don't try to rush out of it. This is getting you where you want to go. So just be okay and deal with it. Remember I said, like, you're able to sit and chill in the darkness over the light in the last reading. Don't rush out of it too soon. Don't take a tempting offer to rush out too soon, thinking, oh, this is the end, this is the light, this is what I've been waiting for, this is this and this. Of course, go into your intuition, trust yourself. This isn't going to apply to everybody. But I just get this vibe where you're almost going to be tested and to see, and what skills have you picked up along the way, your level of discernment. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to take responsibility? Are you willing to have discipline? Are you willing to really see, especially with the unseen, and not rush out of the darkness? You know what I mean? Like, are you really in a sacrifice, like in a trusting, faithful way? And because there's a good chance, and for most of you, there's a good chance what this thing is going to come up as is something that you've either always wanted or something you didn't want to let go of. And it may even come up in a way where it looks like it's actually incorporating with your new way of being. Like I can blend these. And that it might benefit you to even do that. And honestly, I think one day you might be able to, maybe, depending on what your situation is, or you may be able to do that on your own and then it won't matter later, but I don't think it's right now. I think you're still in the learning discovery phase, which, yeah, this is the key. You can get out whenever you want. Like, this is the tricky part of the universe, When I was like, oh, you have the key to get out. You can, I guess, in a way. But what it's asking you to do, it's almost like that test. That's like Taurus now has the key to be able to go in and out of this as they want. Are they going to choose to stay in it to continue their growth? And I don't mean to stay in darkness and depression unnecessarily. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to take on negative stuff or victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, when your soul is going through that level of growth, and I mean not trying to run from it or resist it or go into the safe and the familiar or whatever, for it to like literally be in the needle in your arm for 2 seconds. What do you do with the responsibility of holding the key, basically? And now that you have the key and have been given the key, it's almost like parents when, they're like, okay, good job, you guys are old enough now to stay home alone. So we're going to go out for a night, and then they like really don't. Or they go out, but they come home earlier than they told you they were going to come home, type thing, to check on you, to see what you're going to do. Can you handle that level of responsibility? It's like that. So they're saying, because out of the darkness, this might also be something that comes out of the blue here, but Something is growing in the darkness that you're not seeing. Don't take the first sign of light that comes, or at least really go in with yourself on it and see really how you feel and everything. You need to play your hand. Just play your hand. Like, there's light and dark here. I'm not going to go much more in that. I think it pretty much wrapped up what I needed it to. So I'll go here and then here. So 3 of your animal spirit cards. On the bottom of the deck, you have dragon, supernatural. This is very much underworld, dark type stuff. You are the ancient wise sage. Ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rides with dignity. You have moose, wisdom. Let your your head and mind reach the stars, to the stars. You got to keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. So those are just at the bottom of your deck. But your 3 main ones, you have elephant, greatness, ladybug, good luck, puffin, partnership. So here's your 3 cards. Elephant, ladybug, puffins. So the elephant's greatness. Love is your strength. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. You have a lot of stuff here about love. And that's why I think it's going to be like some emotional lessons for you. Ladybug, good luck. You are bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being happy and be a loving, oh my God. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. And then puffin, partnership. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. So I get a couple different things from these. So I feel like you're originally coming in as the elephant energy. Maybe even like kind of a like ginormous energy, you know, very loyal and whatever. Maybe even a little bowl in a china cabinet type thing, but a big energy, right? And I think something comes in that is really a blessing in disguise. But it could make you feel small or not happy. Like basically it's almost like, I think it can take you from feeling like all the work that you've done and really pulling you back. And I don't know if this is the mistake or if this is what's going to happen. So try to resist opting out, you know, and being like, okay, not this again, or this sucks, and going and doing something else. Like, have faith through it. It's another lesson for you to evolve type thing, but it's going to make you feel small, either small, insignificant, not strong enough. But it's good for you. Like, it's good. And it's helping you to gain a different perspective or a different way of seeing things that you wouldn't normally have had you not been either put in this position or been made to feel this way. It also, I think, helps evolve you more, because the elephant to me comes across very much as an earthy sign, grounded. Puffins are very much watery. They're more of a water vibe animal. I think it helps evolve you in something of an emotional level, whether it's emotional maturity, sensitivity, maybe even sensitivities. But it's either way going to help you see more and accept more about yourself, and maybe even help those around you, or find more like minds around you. But also you can relate more with other people too, because you realize this about yourself. So even though you might not feel as large and in charge as this elephant, it does evolve you, and it shows you a different part of yourself. I even get to, because there's the black and the white, so more the incorporation of your light and your shadow. But you tend to, I think, see others more now that are like you. Maybe even you can see yourself in other people now that you didn't think you'd be able to. Or maybe you can even understand them because you understand yourself, and you're able to see that now in other people. I think it helps you understand and incorporate more of your shadow. Maybe even you having to deny, if you do deny whatever this is, or choosing not to go towards it, helps you incorporate part of your shadow. I don't know. It's going to be different for everybody. I think it's actually going to teach you how to love more and better and more healthily. And in a way where not only do you love others, but yet have to protect yourself from others and have this huge whatever. It'll be more genuine from within. You will be okay. It's almost like I get this vibe that you had to feel larger like this because there was a fear or an insecurity or something underneath it all. So it's like you had to be knocked down, had or have to be able to really see things about yourself or appreciate things about yourself. So let's just stick with that on that. And then two other cards that you have is Chimera, Web of All Life. You see the spider on her face. And then you have Dreamcatcher, Dreaming Your Wisdom. Oh, actually I have two cards after this. I don't know if I'm going to read all this. My voice is kind of scratchy, so we'll see how this goes. And that's kind of what I was saying about the front here. I probably will read... I'll read you about Chimera. You guys usually like to hang with me, so... Beyond the mask we all wear of identity, beyond the construct of who we have been conditioned to believe we are, lies your face, yourself. This face is tender and in so many ways as you have not shown her to the world before. This face has been protected because the world has seemed and proved indeed at times to be dangerous and an unkind place, where those of us who feel different are proved to be so as we brave the taunts and finger pointing. But I now tell you that your protections, your armor, and your shield can be removed safely with me. This is your armor. With her. Do not discard her, your face, as you may need her yet in certain situations. But know now she is your armor, and her role is to protect your true being. To you, I now reveal myself. See? Many have recoiled in horror at who I truly am. I am a dragon fae maiden, a spider woman, a being of webs and chains and destruction and recreation. Each day I must remake my world. I feel along its sensory threads to see what needs reconstruction and what needs to be let go of. For I am, as you are, a part of a new web of life, a web of life that embraces our differences and yet understands that we are one. I ask you today to look at the webs in your life that must be remade and rewoven. No. She is healing the rifts in dimensions and time, and we can assist her by understanding who we truly are and by working our own individual weavings with consciousness and peaceful power. She's a powerful weaver of energies, dimensions, and time. Links like the web of life. So I'll get to this in a second. Let me read. Coming out about beliefs, revealing more of your true and vulnerable self to family, beginning to work in groups, understanding cosmic consciousness, finding a new family, understanding connections, making meaningful relationships that have far-reaching impact, learning more about people's true selves. Revelations about cultural heritage and family and personal histories may be forthcoming when Shumara makes an appearance in your life. She also represents strides being made on a global and cosmic level on peace, communication technologies, and understanding 6th century experiences, dream experiences, astral travel, and time travel. And both of these are very much about dreaming, which I don't know if you guys have, but I literally dream every night, all night, to the point where in a way I guess it's kind of cool, although there's a lot of subconscious stuff coming up, so it kind of sucks a little. But it's just that I wish at least 1 or 2 nights, because it's been a good little while now, I can like just feel like I go to sleep and then I just wake up, like I just deep sleep. I might actually like set the intention for that and see if they help me with that boundary, just so I can get a good night or 2 of sleep. But whatever. So pay attention to your dreams too. Maybe even journal them down. But yeah, I kind of realized this, that I needed to, that I had my past and then my present, and that they weren't integrated. And that's kind of where I was getting stuck too, was I needed to evolve and integrate them to not be who I am now, but that would push me forward into something else. And I almost had an illusion come up, at least what I perceive right now to have been an illusion, to actually move backwards to do that. And then I realized, and I meditated it, and I was like, oh, that's not a good idea, that it will still happen. I will be assisted with this, but there will be a better way for me to do this. And that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, like, things could actually come in and confuse you, where I actually thought, oh, this would help me evolve. And I'm glad I kind of waited on it and sat and just did some work to like meditate on it and work with my guides and stuff like that, because it actually wouldn't have, it would have really hindered it. That's coming, and I will be able to integrate them and all of that. It was just part of my ego, I guess. It just wouldn't have been good for me. So I either have to wait or just not that route at all. And that I'm being guided with this, and I will be able to not be codependent on situations, to get me out of the uncomfortable, to get to that, like, just to continue trusting, working, and being where I am and focusing where I'm focusing. And all will come. Don't step off path to try to control it. Just keep going. I hope you get what I'm saying. 42, dream catcher. I don't know why I just said that. Dream catcher. Dreaming your wisdom. The importance of dream oracles has been spoken in many ancient cultures, from the Greek to the Lakota. That's not the one I wanted to read. We are being given chances to learn and to dream into being the truth of who we are while we do this thing called sleep, in which our being is trained and worked within the spiritual world. The dream catcher being will come to you as the teacher you need, holding the sacred feathers of air, the bells which will be rung by the dawn watcher, and the threads which woven together create your perfect and knowable and unknowable destiny. Prophetic dreams, precognizance, dreams of elders speaking with you, working on opening and empowering your solar plexus, which I have a lot of stuff going on with you, even just sitting here right now with my solar plexus, and my sacral chakra, and my throat, and my heart. To be honest with you, they're all kind of going right now. My crown a little bit at least, but definitely my third eye, my throat, my heart, for sure my solar plexus, my sacral, and a little bit of my root. Beginning to seek your dreams out purposefully, placing action with dreams, finding feathers during the day, receiving messages from owl and eagle, and from wise women. Breathing deeply while sleeping, sleeping well with the air being well oxygenated. I'm sorry guys, I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde or whatever, but using oil burners. And I know a lot of the dreams I'm having too are really correlating with issues with my solar plexus. And this dream catcher is all about the solar plexus. And it's also the dream catcher. All that is no longer needed will come to me if you allow it, and I will catch it in my web between my hands, lit up by the light that travels from the solar plexus of the universe, the being you call sun, which I call bell. This bell shines through your day, and at night I reflect that light into you, cleansing that what is irritating and difficult for you, but keeping all which you need to go forward. There is nothing to fear from the presence of we dream beings. I am yours, and in your dreams we will journey, we will explore, we will share, and we will be happy together. I will help you reach your goals, and if you believe, great blessings from Spirit will be yours. We are part of the same tribe, and your blood is mine. The dream catcher is at your service. Every night you allow me to visit, I will be your protector. Your solar plexus will be opened a little further, and your light will shine a little brighter in this world. I can help you see the threads of your future and to follow them. Let me into your dreams. Invite me in. This is my request of you. So I have 2 more cards, and then I'm pretty much done. This is why I say, so if any of you are being tempted or whatever, just don't be, what's the word I'm looking for? Impulsive. Give it time to like wait it out, you know, check your guides, maybe go to sleep with the intention of, is this the best move for me and what my aim is or my spiritual path or whatever it is your goal is, and see what comes to you. Maybe channel right or go to a reader. All right, so we have, by the way, the decks I'm using is the Divine Circus Oracle. So I'm going to try to put all these links up. The Oracle of the Dragon Fae. Those are the books, not the box. And then Spirit of the Animal Oracle. Like I said, I'll put the links. And obviously the little mini Rider-Waite. But and then the Celtic Tree Oracle, which is very much about plant spirit medicine. So the Beef Birch. You can expect new beginnings. However, in order to move ahead, you may have to tie up loose ends and let go of what is no longer needed. It also stands for cleansing and purification. Old patterns are released and you can shed unhelpful influences. Now, just like this tree sheds its bark, this is a time for forgiveness of yourself and others. There is the promise of new starts, renewal, and new life. This is the time to set new intentions now that you've let go of last year's energies. Sit quietly so that you can listen deeply. From your heart, begin to formulate new plans and intentions. This is a time to decide what seeds you will plant and cultivate for the year ahead. Birch also offers healing, peace, and resolution in times of conflict. Her branches are pliant and supple. Take a birch leaf or twig with you, or imagine her in your mind's eye when you must resolve a conflict. She brings in the power of peaceful reconciliation. Take a look at your new year with a higher perspective. Allow your higher self to inform you. Breathe in her deepest message, which is love and light. Let the birch heart-shaped leaves remind you of that your true wisdom comes from the heart. Allow yourself to look at your life and the world around you with new eyes. Lay aside your judgments and return to a state of innocence. Releasing old patterns, overcoming difficulties, shedding the old. And then you have Strafe Blackthorn. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Strife. Protection, boundaries, fate, strife, negation, outside influences, disruption, learning from challenges, drawing on spiritual strength. This is kind of what I'm saying here. Like, you're going to need protection from some. You're going to need to call on your spiritual strength, your discipline. Because it's going to be something emotional. It's going to be something that probably every part of you is going to want to go towards, maybe. Or you see it as like the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's going to be kind of like like a distraction, or to see if it can pull you off the path. And I think for a lot of you, maybe not all of you, like I said, it's going to seem like it's going to be part of your path. And this is really where how much you've learned as far as the level of discernment is going to come in. You are in need of protection when this card comes to you. Energetically, the spike-like thorns of this tree can help, especially when you visualize a blackthorn thicket springing up around you to shield you. This tree can help you set clear, strong boundaries about what and whom you will let in and what and whom you will not. Although you may not have a choice about what is happening in your life, you do have a choice about how you relate to any challenges. Drawing this tree can remind you to choose the equanimity that will help you move through these difficult times, this crossroads that you're at. You are in the process of growing your character. Exactly. If you are never challenged, you are unlikely to grow. That's exactly what I mean. Like, not only are you being challenged right now before this even comes in, but it's almost like a test in the dark of times to grow you more and to see what you're really made of, and to, you get what I'm saying? You are in the process of growing. Oh, there's the. If you are never challenged, you are unlikely to grow. For this reason, you can look at opposition and adversarial forces as allies. Difficulties are teachers, and negative situations bring lessons to learn. When one door closes, another opens. But when you get blackthorn in a reading, you are being told that it is time for some heavy-duty changes. In order to grow, you are asked to let go of people and situations, as well as self-defeating beliefs and attitudes. You might not be able to change others or the situation you are in, but you can change yourself. It is time to let go of the need for revenge or lashing out or destructive behavior towards yourself or others. Let go of animosity, judgment, and resentment. Let go of habits that are not working for you. Ask your guides for support and spiritual strength. They are here for you and will answer your need. They cannot help you without your invitation, though, as they will never interfere with your free will. What is this? Because this thing called my attention. It's almost like it looks like a path that's lightened up. That's why I was like, am I supposed to read this? So I think what it is that it's like you've been in the dark so long, and even though you're like, yeah, I've been spiritually connected, like I'm on a path, blah, blah, blah. I think in a way it's also asking you to not just go towards any perceived light or something that could pull you out of the darkness, like your old habits. Because when you're in this type of energy, if you know what I'm talking about, even old ways and old habits, that more than anything actually is going to seem like, oh, like a breath of fresh air at first. Like I said, a needle in your arm. And I think right now what really would be good guidance to say to you, which I think is what it's trying to have me say to you, is I wouldn't come out of the perceived darkness right now for anything other than your own love and divinity or source above, and that you can feel it radiating, not in a codependent way or in a way that's being told to you that can be lies, but in a way that you can feel it, not in a I need you way, like knight on a white horse and shiny armor type way, but like that you are fulfilled within type thing, and then that knows what to call for. Basically, I wouldn't come out of this unless it's that true loving light that I'm having such a hard time saying this. Like, I'm not going to say it doesn't ask anything from you, because there is a sacrifice, but you'll know, like, it's the spiritual, the divine thing. It doesn't have ego wrapped into it. Let's put it that way. Okay. Like, it's not like ego's there too, but oh, we could wrap it into spirituality, or it's just ego. I'll take a break for a little while and come back to this. Or maybe that's what you've been doing. It's purely the spiritual side, the loving spiritual side, basically. It's trying to get you to go in and see your shadow, not become scared in your shadow, but become empowered in your shadow. And then after that, because when you can become empowered in your shadow, you can also then find your own light again. And you don't need, okay, so this is the best way to put it. You don't need to look for light doorways, right? Because you become the light in the darkness. So don't go into a fearful or a codependent way where you're looking for something hopefully to come and pull you out of this. Like there's an answer to your prayers outside. It's to sit within, so much so to find that, and the healing and the light and the comfort and the fearlessness and all of that you find in the shadow, while remembering where you come from, and in what your mission is and your sides. And I don't want to say what side you're on, because to me things are about balance, but it's definitely about love. Let's put it that way. And love has many vibrations, so it's about love though. That literally you become so chill with it that your walls come down, and then your own light shines again. Not that it hasn't been shining, but you get what I'm saying. Like, when somebody is scared or fearful, until you become empowered and confident, they pull in their light. They almost diminish themselves to be hidden, to be unseen, to hide, right? Because they're scared. And the more that you can camouflage or blend in or not be seen, the safer you will be. Well, as you learn your skills, as you learn your confidence, as you learn your stuff, and you know that you are strong enough, you are good enough, there isn't anything to be scared of or fearful of, or even if there is, you know, you're okay battling it, you feel like you have the tools or the confidence to do it, you will no longer, your walls will come down, you will no longer diminish your energy, and your light will expand again. So really, if you look at it in a way, the only reason that it's so dark right now, this is kind of crazy of a thought, the only reason that it's so dark right now is because you're scared, because it's the unknown, because you're fearful, and you're going into a part of yourself you're not familiar with, you haven't evolved, you haven't grown this part, it's not a strength of yours. Therefore, you feel, you know, scared or not confident, or maybe it's a wound of yours that is starting to come up that, you know, has been hidden or festering for a while, or you haven't seen, whatever, and there's emotions tied for it that are coming for you to release. And just like I said, anytime somebody goes into that state, not anybody, I'm going to say, because some people, you know, they'll just go all out like, you know, and not know when to do their thing. But most of the time, people are going through spiritual awakenings, basically, are the ones who are going to feel this. There's that deepness there, that have those emotions, and they're going to go through like the hermit phase and all that other stuff, where during this time, because there is core wound, fears, shadow stuff coming up, they're going to pull back in their stuff. Hence, when they do that and they camouflage and hide, they also hide their light so that they're not seen. They feel safer. But on the same time, they can't see because of that. So even though it has a benefit, it's also hiding, you can't see. And sometimes, you know, when you're going through this, because your emotions and your fears and everything can kind of like override your mind and your common sense, you forget that you actually are the light. You're just diminishing it right now because you're not in a confident state and you feel kind of scared or whatever, and you're trying to become invisible in this dark world that you don't know how to navigate. And you're like, damn, if only I had a light. And who knew? You are a walking lantern, you know? But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, but you kind of had to go through those things in the dark to remember who you were, who you are. Hope you get what I'm saying. So this Code Grove, which this is what led me to all of this, which I wasn't going to read, but it was like calling to me. When you receive this card in a reading, you are asked to reconnect to what is spiritually meaningful to you and to give your gratitude. This is the time to consider the sacred in connection with the spirit source. Take time to sit in silence and review your year. Listen for messages from the ancestors. Meditate, exactly what I was saying. Contemplate death, spiritual death. The Celts readily made space for the dead and believed they sent healing, guidance, and support for the living. What messages are they sending you? Remember that these beings are your support team and that you are loved and cherished. Perhaps your relatives were limited within their personalities while they were alive, and your history with them is not that positive. In spirit, however, they are open to a greater sense of wisdom and love to share with you. The grove represents your community. Spend time with like-minded others in ritual and ceremony. And that might be the puffins, too, the partnership. Reconnect with your source together in celebration with gratitude. Do you have a place that is sacred to you? Do you have a spiritual group or temple, grove, center, or church that is meaningful to you? Do you have a spiritual practice that supports you? What spiritual lineages have relevance for you? It is time to seek answers for these questions. If you have no answers, it is time to include the spiritual within your life. Explore what has true meaning. It is time to develop a spiritual practice. So I think the main thing was to say, you know, you need to connect again. Like, you are the light. Don't be fooled or confused into picking something to pull you out of it, thinking, oh, this is the light. Like, I see the light through the door. You will be it. When you get where you need to be, your walls will come down and your light will shine through again, and all will be illuminated again. I just get this vibe if you're walking down the hallway and you see doors that look beautiful and tempting and lit up. They're not the correct doors, and they might even be distracting you, sabotaging you, or affecting in a negative way your spiritual work and journey. Okay, so pretty much done. Do I want to pull a shaman card or... I guess we'll do an Isis oracle and see what comes up. I don't know if I'm really being... I may or may not pull a shaman one. After this, I'll see how I feel. I may just pull this and then end it. What messages do you have? Last messages for Taurus. August, July 2019. United with the angelic self. I'm not gonna read that, but it's kind of like confirming what I was saying. Last message for Taurus. August. The dark healing chamber. I think that's where you are now. I didn't want this many cards. So you have High Priestess, mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Beloved Isis gazes upon you now, and behind her vast eyes, mysteries are unveiled. A new clarity about your direction is unfolding. Be willing to wait for the full reveal. Exactly. Be willing to wait for the full reveal. but also recognize what is happening at this time. You will be gaining valuable insight into where you're being led and for what purpose. It is an exciting moment in your unfoldment. Have reverence and an open heart and mind, and wait patiently for the grand revelation that is on its way. Wait patiently. Do not be tempted by false, this is my door, for lack of better words. Currently, you're being offered assistance in unveiling your divine destiny. You will be shown your purpose in a broader and more meaningful way than ever. You can expect to have many aha moments where your life experiences and journeys suddenly make sense from a bigger perspective, helping you understand how every day that you have gone through has brought you to where you are today, which in turn helps you trust even more where you are being led. You are guided to trust in the reveal, whether it seems preposterously magnificent and you have no idea how it could possibly all happen, or whether it seems not nearly grand enough as of yet. In time, with your patience and willingness to trust in the unfoldment of your life, you will realize the inherent beauty, perfection, and sublime loveliness of your life unfolding, and that your purpose and destiny are truly exquisite. You will feel even more joy and peace and trust within you, growing into the serenity of the High Priestess, who accepts all with a wisdom born of great insight and understanding. Rather than being passive, she is actively surrendered in absolute trust and higher wisdom. Also an indication if something completely unfathomable, bizarre, or strange is happening right now, provided you feel love in your heart, trust it. It is the hand of the divine guiding you, and you just don't know enough what is happening in the bigger picture yet to make sense of the situation, but you will in time, and possibly much sooner than you realize. And then you have stay true and be in your power. So here's the High Priestess. You have stay true and be in your power, Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of divine authority. And then you have magic and ritual, crafting sacred space. On the bottom of the deck, I don't know if I'm going to read it, is Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. So stay true. Okay, so this is very much, yeah. The flail and crook, often held by Osiris, are symbols of divine royalty and dominion. These symbols remind us that within we hold great dominion, spiritual authority, and freedom to be the sovereign ruler of our own self. This does not mean that we have to control life or others or even the environment around us, but it does give us complete and utter choice to become as spiritually awake, free, and self-determined as we wish to be, as well as providing us with the complete choice as to what our values and actions will be in this lifetime. There is no permission required for anyone apart from yourself to be and live in your truth. There are many voices that will test you on your journey, from illusionary shackles of fear, loss or abandonment that may hold you back or tempt you into giving your power away to others. Yes. You shall awaken from the testing and to the realization of spiritual independence within. That's what I'm saying. Of course, there is more to spiritual authority than just recognizing that it lies within you. There are times when you must act on it, guard it, and protect it, which means recognizing when others seek to exert influence over you for their own reasons, or when you are being manipulated out of your own authority, becoming blind to your own power of choice, and instead believing that things are just the way that they are and you cannot question or query. Sometimes during such challenges, to wield that crook and flail to exert one's own spiritual authority requires you to stand your ground and remain true to your knowing. This is not about achieving a certain outcome or attempting to control something or someone, or even forces things to be as you wish they could be. Standing your ground means always telling yourself the truth and not selling out or giving away something that has genuine spiritual growth and meaning for you. Exactly, that's what I've been saying. It is not about making another see the same thing, another see things the same way. It is about honoring your own truth, and if your truth is wise enough to include compassion, then honor the other, even when the other disagrees with you or seeks to harm you out of their own fear. You do not have to challenge another in order to honor your truths and inner authority. If you feel that another has to agree with you in order for your authority to be intact, then it isn't genuine inner authority at all. The fact that you don't need to have the agreement of others in order to live an empowered life can be a liberating realization. I'm tired of reading. Yet there are times when life can feel like an assault against your truths, with many challenging you. For those souls who have come to master spiritual authority in this lifetime, there is a test to remain true without becoming dogmatic, to honor what you know is true without minimizing, judging, or dismissing the truths of another that are different to you, yours, but just as true for them. Yeah, just because you're right doesn't mean they're wrong type of thing. Not in all ways, but in a lot of ways. You have the power to create and own your own reality, and you don't need permission from anyone else to do this. Honor your spiritual sovereignty. Let the Lady Isis help you find your spiritual authority and freedom of choice now. If you have pulled this card as well... Oh, this isn't the Queen of Heaven. Seeking to hand over any responsibility for your well-being to another can be a tricky and ultimately self-destructive path. Another is not even just a person, it can be anything. Even though it may seem to start off as a relief of stress about some concern or another, this card also guides you to take responsibility for your health in your own hands. Advice from health professionals, doctors can be helpful and sometimes can be mistaken. It is up to you to decide for yourself how you wish to work with your body. Don't be scared, listen to the advice given by professionals, but remember your life is your spiritual gift. Don't be afraid to live it in your own way. Magic and ritual, crafting sacred practice. So some of you, to help you during this time too, you can actually develop, if you haven't developed like a spiritual routine, something that's regular that will help you. Effect in the external world can be created through inner practice. Magic and ritual can support your divine path now in the physical world, and you are encouraged to enhance your power with regular practice. The results that you experience will encourage you to continue with the practice as you grow in power, grace, love, ability, and wisdom, and apply your inner beauty to transform your outer world. For us to grow empowered on the path of ancient feminine power, we need to honor our knowing and being and cultivate sacred practice. The habit of growing our spiritual power and consciousness, like a garden needs regular care. Take strength and inner will, even though it can feel amazing. You still have to wake up, set time aside, and discipline ourselves to show up for the inner growth. We will reap the benefits as we do, but we must allow ourselves to fall in love with our practice, to craft something that really speaks to us so that we want to do it. The desire and the discipline together help us engage with our practice regularly, and we can grow so fast it can be quite shocking. So a lot of people are like, it's like a spiritual discipline test here, and to grow that, like I said, to grow, level up. When an initiate shows particular promise, higher guidance will often encourage that they develop a regular practice to hone their spiritual and creative abilities and more fully manifest their divine potential. They will grow faster and stronger spiritually and be able to step into spiritual healing and leadership to greater effect. You are one such soul, dear initiate, and you are being guided to prepare for this growth and authority now with your sacred practice. This oracle is guidance that you do have great power and wisdom within you, but you need to provide channels for it to flow and be active and empowered in your physical life. Sacred practice is such a channel. Without these channels, the ego is left to create on its own, which is not much fun at all. The ego believes in fear and separation, and no matter how much it may want to feel love, bliss, connection, joy, and fulfillment, it really cannot do it without your spiritual presence in life. Ritual and magic as a form of sacred practice are recommended for you as a way to become more in a spiritual presence into your waking life, to heal and support the ego as you learn to create a life that feels better and brings you and others more fulfillment. Remember, whatever effort you do put in will be repaid to you in wonderful benefits many, many times over. Once you experience these effects, and it may only take a day or two or a week or two for the effects to show itself, you will be more committed to continue. The effects are cumulative. As you continue to practice, the positive effects continue to grow. If you've already done this, it's confirmation that it's working for you and you should not give up. It also confirms that if you are considering making an adjustment in your sacred practice, it might be time to do so, provided that you don't miss the gains you have already made with your regular practice, your current practice, and you remember that sometimes small changes can have a big effect. Ritual and magic practice with clear intent to be a service to the highest good and to manifest your unconditional love accelerates your power and growth, particularly when it is based on what your heart truly desires. It might be more about connecting with your body, about stilling your mind and expressing your voice of creativity. So I don't think I'm going to read the temple one. I just want to see what it is, though, because I think the dark healing chamber is where you are now. All right, so the rest you don't want to hear, you can click off it. It's not too terribly long, but I'll read the Temple of the Black Obsidian. Basically, it's a dark healing chamber. So any of you guys who want to go there to help your healing, you can try this out. I'll read a little bit about it, and then it'll tell you the ritual to enter the dark healing chamber. So the most challenging task is not to confront an external enemy, but to take courage in both hands and journey within. To meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light to it. Which is what I was saying. That is the sacred purpose of any enemy, with or without, to bring us more deeply into our own being as we seek to find and heal the darkness within. The Temple of Black Obsidian is a ruthlessly honest place of raw love and healing, truly profound and lasting. Deep relief and transformation can occur here. Black Obsidian is protective and revealing. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces, but it will also reveal that which has been lurking in the shadows of the self, trying to avoid being brought out into the open for fear of condemnation. The biggest challenge we face in entering the Temple of Black Obsidian is our own unwillingness to love and accept all parts of us. The initiate who is invited to enter the Temple of Black Obsidian enters into his or her own shadow, the part of us that is hidden from our own awareness and is usually only experienced in relationship to others, quite often as projection. Lady Isis, as the dark priestess of the Temple of Black Obsidian, invites you now to confront the parts of your own ego that you have denied previously. Why? Because in doing so, you will gain more freedom, come to know yourself more wholly, and you will find that life experiences, opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs that you have not been able to reach will suddenly become available to you. The dark chamber always leads to the light chamber, but one cannot avoid the initiation of the Temple of Black Obsidian on the pathway to more light. Isis will assist you in preparing for this journey by encouraging you Do not allow yourself to become your own worst enemy. Most of the fear we have before the dark chamber of healing is the fear of our own self-criticism and rejection. Isis declares that readiness for the dark chamber requires a willingness to exercise non-judgment, compassion, and a readiness to accept the self in all expressions. To safely enter the dark chamber and be healed, you must be prepared to give yourself love unconditionally. You must be able to recognize judgments that you hold towards yourself, not as truths, but as old patterning. This is why the successful initiation of the dark chamber is a truly advanced stage of soul development. The heart has become willing to love unconditionally, and the initiate must be able to witness feelings that arise with kindness and acceptance, but not fall into them, overwhelmed, crushed, or deflated by any darkness found within. It is worth the challenge because finding peace from pain, self-criticism, self-doubt, fear, and self-judgment through healing in this temple is a gift beyond measure. All right. So here's the ritual to enter the dark healing chamber. Sorry, just trying to get like my energy up. Find a peaceful, quiet place to lie down and rest or sit comfortably where you will not be disturbed, and can close your eyes and focus on your breath, taking your awareness inside. Become aware of a vast, open, dark space within you, reaching high and wide and filled with a sense of peace. Within that dark space, you become aware of a winged, beautiful goddess in a long white robe with a solar headpiece and a crescent moon on her forehead. Her neck and arms are piled with jewelry made of black obsidian, which gleams in the darkness, reflecting the light of her aura and white robe, signifying her great inner sight and wisdom. She gazes at you thoughtfully and then directs your awareness to a great temple in the distance, as if an invitation. If you wish to remain with her here, simply receive her blessed presence into your heart. Rest until you feel ready and then open your eyes. If you wish to continue, follow the remainder of the ritual guided here. If you wish to proceed to the temple, you will be instantly taken there with her now. At the temple entrance, there is a small antechamber, and as you step inside, you see that it is lined with rose quartz in soft pink, cool shades. The Lady Isis in her white robe is with you. She suggests that you take as much of this endless love energy that fills the antechamber of rose quartz into your being as you can. It will support you in the temple of black obsidian that lies deeper within the temple court complex. You can do this by allowing it to penetrate your heart until you are as full as you can be. The lady also offers you a small golden bottle, which she has filled with pure love energy. You can choose to take her gift with you into the dark chamber. Feel the love in your heart and say aloud, I am filled with love, unconditional now, and I commit to love, honor, and accept myself no matter what I see. I am human, light and dark, and I have been all things. I love all things, and I know that I am none of those things. I am a divine soul. I love, forgive, trust, and rescue myself from criticism now. Through my own free will as a sovereign being of light, so be it. She steps back from the entrance of the temple, and you step through it, entering into a dark chamber paved completely with gleaming black obsidian. The energy within the chamber is neutral, and the darkness of the volcanic glass reflects you at all angles and surfaces. You sit quietly in the center of the temple and become aware of the softness of the rose quartz energy that exists in your heart. You may see, sense, or feel all parts of you reflected in this dark chamber. You can become aware of yourself in totality. What is your feeling of this? Is it peaceful, confronting, frightened, or loving, or a combination of these feelings? If you can, send the love in your heart, the rose quartz energy in all directions, gently touching every surface of the chamber that reflects you back to yourself. If you begin to feel fear, hate, panic, or rejection, send more love, and if you can find it difficult to do this, imagine drinking the gift in the bottle from Lady Isis, the strong love that she gives to you, which will conquer any fear. If you choose to withdraw from the temple at any time, if the process becomes too intense, Isis will guide you back through the rose quartz antechamber and back with love to your heart, honoring your boundaries and your needs. If you choose to remain in the dark chamber after some time as you become peaceful in the space, it will open up like a pyramid unfolding from the inside, and you can step out the top of it whole and replenished. Lady Isis greets you and offers you another gift, a blessing of pure golden light in your heart. Be aware of your heart and your breath. Acknowledging that you have done well. Return to your body fully now. When you are ready, just open your eyes. So there's an incantation of the Temple of Black Obsidian. You could say this incantation at any time you need help in managing a difficult situation that seems to be about another or about an issue within you that is not completely clear, which seems very good for this. I call upon the Temple of Obsidian Black. I call on the love of Isis so strong, stronger than any judgment or attack. It heals and makes whole any past wrong. I now choose to see the truth of my being whole. I see how in this pain I played a role. I choose to let pain of judgment be released. I choose to love and accept with deep peace. Transformation and healing now come to me. I love all parts of my being, infinite and free. Okay, I'm done. I love you guys. I hope this helped. Maybe it's a bright reading for some of you guys. I think it's more of a shadowy reading, but whatever. I think it's something that's needed because a lot of you are going to be at a crossroads. So I love you. I hope this helped. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. I put out different types of videos for donation information, like a give, receive, if this has helped you. All the information's in the description box below. My email address, my PayPal address. Also in the description, services, prices, disclaimer, read that, everything. So thank you for everything. I love you guys. I hope this helps. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.